In this video, we'll look at creating and managing a guest pass captive portal network in the RUCKUS One network management platform. In the video titled Overview of Captive Portal Networks, we discussed all captive portal network types at a high level. We provided a detailed walkthrough of portal service customization and provided a deep dive into the guest pass credentials functionality. So now let's take a closer look specifically at Guest Pass captive portal networks. A Guest Pass network provides guest users the convenience of internet access while keeping data and devices on your other networks inaccessible. And guest networks aren't just for people. You may even want to consider a separate guest network for IoT devices, as they are susceptible to security breaches. RUCKUS One makes it easy to create, update, and delete guest credentials, as well as disable or delete access on a per-credential basis or disconnect a specific device. A Guest Pass captive portal network lets your visitors quickly and easily authenticate by going through your customizable network portal and entering a password that's already been created. The password can be distributed via SMS or email if specific user contact info is known, such as a student roster for a class, a list of expected visitors to your corporate office, or even friends visiting your home. Optionally, the network name and password can be saved to a file and printed. You've probably seen a Wi-Fi network name and password printed on handouts or signage at hotels, restaurants, or retail establishments. Notice that we're starting on the client's Guest Pass credentials page. Now you can certainly create a Guest Pass captive portal network through the Wi-Fi networks page. However, since a guest network must be created before any credentials can be added, RUCKUS One provides access to both capabilities right here to simplify administrator efforts. For this demonstration, we'll create a network and a guest pass for our fictional poshest hotel venue. We'll first add our guest pass network, giving it a network name. Notice that the portal type screen is inactive because the system put us directly into the wizard for creating a captive portal guest pass network. So here we'll just click Next. As discussed in the Overview of Captive Portal Networks video, the host settings screen allows you to configure whether users are redirected after authentication. We'll redirect them to our fictional hotel website, and we'll also enable the Bypass Captive Network Assistant feature so that clients that have already been authenticated are not redirected to the hotel website after future connections and authentications. Here you can also set advanced network settings. Note that the VLAN, services, and radio settings are covered in the video titled Advanced Settings for a Wi-Fi Network. So we won't repeat that information here, and we'll just leave the default settings as is. But we are going to look at the user connection settings, which apply only to captive portal networks. Here you can modify the default settings for the amount of time the client can remain connected without re-authenticating, as well as whether the user must go through the portal to re-authenticate during a reconnection. Moving on, the portal web page screen requires you select a portal service. Now, if you've not already created a Guest Pass portal, simply click Add Guest Portal Service. This allows you to add the new portal service without having to leave the network creation wizard. Portal service creation is covered in depth in the Overview of Captive Portal Networks video. So again, we won't repeat that here. Let's simply select a portal that we've already created. We already have the hotel venue created, so let's activate this network on that venue, leaving the default settings of all APs, all radios, and 24/7 availability. We'll confirm the configuration on the summary screen and click Finish. With a Guest Pass portal set up and Guest Pass network active, Guest Pass credentials can now be added. Notice that we've not left the GuestPass credentials page. You can add guest credentials either individually or imported from a file, which is convenient when you have a list of people each requiring their own credentials. So let's create a guest pass. Selecting the Add Guest option opens a sidebar where you must minimally enter a guest name and select a network. If you're creating a guest credential that many people will use, such as customers to your establishment, then the guest name should be something generic, and you'll not enter a mobile phone and you'll not enter email information. Note also that the available methods of credential distribution are governed by the information entered. So if there's no mobile phone number, then send to phone is grayed out. And if there's no email address, then the send to email is grayed out. Note that you're given multiple options when printing the guest pass, including various local file formats and configured printers. Selecting the Import from File option opens a sidebar where you can download the template CSV file locally. Edit the file locally, then import the updated file back into the system. Note that in the file, same as when adding an individual guest, you must enter the guest name. Mobile phone and email are optional, but in reality, if you're importing specific usernames, you're most likely going to have contact information. So go ahead and enter that so the credentials can be sent directly to the intended recipients. And yes, each individual in the list gets their own unique password. The list shows when a credential was created and the name and contact information associated with it. The video titled Overview of Captive Portal Networks explains the information seen here and how to further manage existing GuestPass credentials. That brings us to the end of this video on adding and managing GuestPass captive portal networks in the RUCKUS One network management platform.